start your Saturday afternoon and now Saturday morning with Champ Week. And it should be a lot of fun as one of these teams will punch their first ever ticket to the NCAA tournament. We are underway in the home gym of the Hartford Hawks. Opening tap controlled by the Riverhawks, and inside the early bucket for Salif Boujay.
Yeah, Salif Boujay, the grad transfer, brings a lot of leadership to the program. And he and Obi Noel have really become the leaders of this squad. They've become really close over the past season.
Williams off the mark. Riverhawks now in transition. And Noel straight to the bucket off the mark. Tapped out. And it will go back to the Hartford Hawks. Pat Duquette, 8th season, leading UMassLowe, trying to get his team to the tournament. And I tell you what, we had some great conversations with him this week. He really loves the underdog role, embraces that as the Riverhawks have made their transition to D1 hoops.
And he spent some time as an assistant under Bill Cohen, who of course is up at Northeastern, spent some time under Al Skinner at BC. So both these coaches have an unbelievable pedigree.
Mitchell from downtown, back iron. Now we'll go back to the Riverhawks. We take a look at the starting five. Up first for UMassLowe, Bryce Daly. Noel leads the conference in scoring at almost 22 per. That's actually 6th in the country. And keep an eye on number 5, Connor Withers, hit 9 3-pointers in the semifinal victory against UMBC, and he has been shooting, shall we say, white hot these last couple of weeks, Noah.
Yeah, he's the reason they won that game. I mean, a guy who hadn't attempted more than 7 3-pointers in a game, he comes out and bangs 9. And he's on the scouting report, but nobody expected him to go off the way he did against UMBC.
Hawks are the 4 seed, led by Austin Williams, 14 points per. Tracy Carter, a transfer, came in from LaSalle. He's also played some inspired basketball in recent weeks. Off the bounce, there's Carter, and that's a 3, and Hartford on the board.
He's been in college forever. I mean, before LaSalle, he was at Marquette. He's an unbelievable defender, but he's a driller from downtown, 38%. You got to locate shooters in a championship game. You got to know where he is.
Spin by Daly's no good. Boujay the rebound. Too strong, and now Hunter Marks from Australia with the board.
And Hunter Marks is a high major player who's just playing in this conference. He had an offer from St. Mary's coming out of Australia who, you know, Roy, they have the great Australian connection. He is big time. He had a two-handed jam against Vermont that set the tone early. He can really get up, and at 6'9", he's got a great basketball body.
Yeah, I love the two-handed jams that set the tone early. Let's see if we get one of those today. Ooh. How about the rejection by Boujay right at the rack?
They played 3 centers, and you need that rim protection against a driving team like Hartford.
Tracy Carter with a full head of steam is called for the offensive foul. Well, John Gallagher has a pipeline of sorts down to the land down under. 25 trips he's made to Australia to recruit, and he has found a lot of success over the years, including most recently, Noah, Hunter Marks.
Yeah, and like a lot of relationships in life, Roy, it starts with maybe a little food, maybe a little adult beverage, and when he worked for Fran O'Hanlon, he got the job of driving around the Australian coaches who were visiting and trying to learn from Coach O'Hanlon. So what turned out is just go hang out with these guys, show them a good time, has led to years and years of a direct line of talent into his program.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pipeline to build. Tracy Carter just limped off the floor. 3 minutes in, Hawks lead it by 1. And tapped out, it'll go back to Hartford. Tracy Carter here, Noah, on the offensive foul, came down awkwardly. And you can see him wincing in pain, grabbing that left knee, being tended to on the bench as we speak.
Yeah, knee-to-knee contact on the bone can be brutal, but it could be just one of those Charlie horses. We got to get it worked out on the muscle, so we got to watch that because he is so important for Hartford.
Yeah, the Hawks really not the deepest team still playing in Champ Week either. They're going to go about 8 in the rotation. Carter instrumental among those 8 players. As that one's tapped out of bounds. Austin Williams on the attack. Carter, he's been playing with a heavy heart this year. Lost his brother to gun violence back in Philadelphia. Ran a camp to help underprivileged children. as a result of that, and really has tried his very best to give back to the community in Philly. A lot of Philly connections in this game, which is always awesome to talk about. Passion of Big Five hoops.
Yeah, and the hallowed ground of the Palestra came up a lot with our conversation with Coach Gallagher and his connection with Fran Dunphy and other coaches. You know, he's tight with some Ivy League coaches who have helped him with the back-to-backs. So he's leaned on Mike Martin from Brown a little bit, Steve Donahue, and talked to them about how to, come back within 24 hours and play a second game.
A couple of nice coaches we'll bounce some things off of. 5-2 Hartford with the advantage. The rejection inside. That was Alan Blunt, who couldn't finish.
And Thomas Webley, a New Zealander, with the big-time rebound as well. I mean, so much international flavor on both sides.
I mean, it's not a bad trip to take down under if you're going to Australia and New Zealand. On cue, Hunter Marks from downtown. Just 23% from three-point range this year. That one looked pretty smooth, though.
Yeah, he's just scratching the surface of his potential. I mean, he really has come out of his shell the last couple of weeks in terms of shooting the ball. And, I mean, I'll take that trip if I get Economy Plus. I'm going to need that legroom, Roy. It's a long flight.
It is. Hartford an early lead, playing at home. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right.
For 175 years, New York Life has been helping people act on their love.
Okay.
So they can look back and say, we did good.
Well, the head coach of the Hawks, John Gallagher, year number 11. It's a family atmosphere with the Hartford basketball program, and he talks about it with his team. And he says, you know what? When you need something, you don't look in the yellow pages. You call someone in the family or in the neighborhood. And it goes back to a quote that was originally given to him by his father. And that really has applied in all aspects of Coach Gallagher's life. And in fact, our own Steve Levy of Monday Night Football and NHL fame lives in Gallagher's neighborhood. And he gave us this quote. You can read it right there. Like many ESPNers, I literally live in the neighborhood. It's the brand that Coach Gal has developed. His smarts, energy, and compassion travel well. Although I hope not too far, he's also a great Little League manager. And in fact, Coach John Gallagher leads the charge for Levy's boys, Carson and Stone, as a baseball coach. Noah Savage, how about it?
I mean, what a time, what a place to live, what a connection. And I think my Little League coach was an architect or something. I don't know if he had any expertise. Get out there, get on the mound, Savage.
That was tapped out. P.J. Henry lost the handle. I thought it was a cool story, and a lot of ESPNers obviously close to Hartford, Connecticut, as you would imagine. John looked at us over our Zoom call, which lasted well over 45 minutes, maybe close to an hour this week, and he said, I'm hoping I can make some Steve Levy money. I said, get in line, I am too.
Hey, maybe you can make some Nate Oates money. You talk about
not too shabby, right?
There's coaches that go from, good contract to a couple million in just a couple of years. And these are two coaches, Coach Duquette and Coach Gallagher, that are stars and rising stars. So, keep your eye on them. If you're around this program, neither one of them are going to say, I want to leave, but This is how you do it. You know, you go on a run like this, and they are both on excellent runs.
And Pat Duquette making the transition to D1 hoops. 4-year transition period, almost complete. Both of these teams expect to be really good next year, with most of the talent returning as Noel tries to track it down. And a chaotic sequence will keep it on this end.
Yeah, Tracy Carter back into the game, hit the Peloton bike for a couple minutes, and looks like he's better right there. That's what he does. He's going to go for steals. When number 25 is around you, you got to be extra careful. He wanted to steal it from his own coach.
Hey, look at the walk-on.
Coach, I'm stealing the rock.
He was a former walk-on at St. Joe's. He was ready for the outlet pass there. So UMassLowe made its first field goal, has missed its last 8 attempts, trailing by 6 early. What do you want to see different now from the Riverhawks, maybe on defense, to try to kind of work back in it?
Well, you know, they've got to get out the shooters and communicate. And for UMassLowe, they've been active on the offensive glass, but they haven't gotten an offensive rebound putback. So they've just got to keep that energy up. And then for Obi Noel, he's still got to read the defense and see where the double teams are coming from. And I'd sure love to see number 5, Connor Withers, get an open 3-point shot.
He hasn't had a lot of quality touches yet. Noel outside the Withers. 6 minutes in, winner of this game will punch their ticket to the tournament. That'll be the first time it's ever happened for either program. Noel tried the high-low and off the fingertips of Khalil Thomas out of bounds.
Yeah, and if he's got to shoot that one, he got into the paint. He got a little bit of contact, could have been a foul. But everybody in the gyms expect him to put that one up there when he gets in the paint. And watch how Hartford is guarding Connor Withers. He's a stretch 4-man, and they're putting guards on him early. They want to take away that 3. So he's got to go to his counter punch and go down on the block and post up that smaller guard.
Miroslav Stoffel connects inside. 10-2 Hartford. Good start for the Hawks playing in their home arena. First time that's ever happened in the America East Championship game. Now a 10-0 run right out of the gate.
Right here, look at Miro Stoffel just do his work early and bury the defense. This is how you roll hard to the cup. I mean, he looks like Steven Adams. Get in that restricted circle, flip it up. Czech Republic in the house.
Yeah, the international flavors there. How about the Steven Adams comp? I like it. I dig it.
Listen, I have a well of NBA comparisons.
Look forward to hearing those. How about Hunter Marks from downtown? Not this time. Noel claims the rebound. Riverhawks need a bucket here, trailing by 8, 7 minutes in.
Look at the D. Look at the help for Hartford. There's so many guys in the paint. You got 5 white jerseys. You got to spray that ball out when you see the help come if you're UMassLowe.
Is this a case, perhaps, of some early game jitters with all that's on the line today for the Riverhawks potential?
No doubt, and it's also a case of you played the team twice. There's no secrets. They've got the scout before, so you've got to go to your counter punch. What your staple is might not work. Go to that counter.
Deep 3, short. Marks swatted that one out of bounds. And back to the Hartford Hawks. So an interesting start in this one. The brackets to get to this point have been chaotic in every sense of the word. UMassLowe, no stranger to the comeback. They've actually trailed in 2 separate games, multiple occasions in those contests by 16 points. First time it happened against Stony Brook, a game that seems like was played 2 years ago. The second time in the upset against the #1 seed UMBC. Trailed by 16 in the second half before completing the comeback, led by number 5, Connor Withers.
They just kept coming. They never gave up. And I was watching that game on replay, Roy, and I was like, this must not be the right game because UMBC was in control for so long with that game.
Here's Thomas left open. Elbow J is silky smooth, and Hartford now leading by 6 after the bucket by the Riverhawks.
Yeah, Khalil Thomas really stepped up his game when Obi Noel was out with an injury. He's been on fire. I mean, he's shooting 45% from deep. And he's another guy who hasn't missed a shot, in a month.
Back iron Marks, rebound Thomas. Opportunity now for UMassLowe. Noel fires.
They're just ice cold, Roy, and you've got to just regain composure as a player. Continue to get stops. You only got 4 points if you're UMassLowe, but you've held Hartford to 10. So hang in, weather this storm, and then get back to what you do on the offensive end.
Riverhawks 2 of 14 from the floor to that point. Marks has been active. Stoffel got it back. Williams too strong, and a foul inside as Marks hit the deck hard. 10-4 our score.
Thank you for joining us. Hold that strokes per minute through the water and go.
I'm taking your resistance up.
You've got your iFit trainers with you. Well done, guys.
Nordic Track, the home of interactive personal training.
You can hear me do some jumping jacks or something. There we go, that a boy.
Oh my gosh, Eve Collins just ate the basketball. He's gonna mop the floor.
For the first time, Stony Brook is headed to the dance.
It all came down to this moment, and it was all worth it.
Well, it is our favorite time of year, Champ Week. As you see some of the numbers, we're actually going to punch, 4 tickets today on ESPN2 alone, including the MEAC Championship, and we're done here in the America East. Later today, the MAC title game, the Southland, and then late tonight, the Big West, as you take a look at the teams that punch their ticket, including Drexel, who was a former member of the America East, Noah Savage.
Yeah, and, you know, the Philadelphia connection coming through strong again, and they benefited in that CAA tournament because the 8 seed Elon knocked off James Madison and kind of paved that way. Well, there's a lot of teams you got to keep an eye on, and in the MAC, take a look at Iona, led by Rick Pitino. Championship game against a low-seeded Fairfield team. And if Pitino gets in, watch out. That's all I have to say about your brackets. Look at him if he gets in. You might want to circle that team, Iona.
Great dish from Thomas to Max Brooks. 4-point game halfway through the first. Noah Savage, Roy Philpott, the America East Championship. Neither one of these teams have gone dancing before. One of those programs is going to change today. Hartford's missed its last 7 field goal attempts, make it 8.
It's been a grind early. It's a grinded out contest. You got to stick with your stuff. Stay with the scouting report on the defensive end, and then just try to get something going offensively if you're either team.
Sounds like you've been hanging out with the coaching staffs on both sides when I hear that kind of commentary, which I like it. I dig it.
Well, you know, I played in games against Penn that were like this, where both teams are playing really hard, but it looks kind of ugly. And it's a factor of the good coaching. The scouting report is great. The defensive scheme is great. And then you throw in some missed shots, and you got 6 to 10. Well, this is the championship. You got to win. I don't care if the score's 21 to 20.
Stoffel off the pump fake. Lost the handle, rejected inside. Brooks got there with the block. Here come the Riverhawks. Yeah, to your point, Noah, it's you look at the field goal percentages, and they're both sitting there at 18.8 to start this one. Yeah, there's good defense, and the offense has perhaps been lacking as well. Mitchell looking for the foul, didn't get the call. He'll get the basket. A one-possession game all of a sudden.
Yeah, Ron Mitchell earlier this season went for 24 and 10 against Vermont. He could really score. And you saw that great first step. I mean, that's what he does well. Use that athleticism to get into the paint.
Ran track in high school, did Ron Mitchell, sophomore from Philly. There's that city again. Off the turnover, a 6-0 run now for the Riverhawks, and a chance to tie or take the lead for the first time. Check that, they actually did lead it 2-0 before that 10-0 run. Step back three, and they're back in front again, 11-10.
And the defense on the other end, it was a great dig, it was a great steal. Then you get a great shooter in Khalil Thomas, little shake and bake J.R. Smith between the legs the wrong way, pullback, and all of a sudden UMassLowe has a ton of confidence.
So I got J.R. Smith, I got Steven Adams. I can't wait for the next comp. We'll see. Off the outlet, a turnover. Hunter Marks tracks it down.
A little too much, but you see that range from the 6'9" Australian. He can really run, and that's what makes him special, is that he's got that athletic, wiry frame.
Tracy Carter inside, Hunter Marks, Hartford back in front.
Yeah, great ESP connection there. Usually that's a turnover. Like we saw that turnover from Obi Noel earlier in the game, but Marks was all over it to catch that ball.
Ron Mitchell feeling it, quick trigger, Marks the rebound. Hunter Marks has been active. He also has the mustache march going with the goatee as well. No significance, we're told, as it pertains to the facial hair. But how about the comeback for UMassLowe?
Ron Mitchell trying to get it going. The drive along the baseline finishes through Thomas. And then between the legs, whoop, wrong way, knock it down. It's the championship.
Welcome to the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus come to life on all your screens. Hulu Originals, Disney Hits, and must-see sports. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Get the Disney Bundle today.
Your studio update. Michigan takes on Ohio State in the Big Ten semis this afternoon. They will be doing it without Michigan senior Isaiah Livers, out indefinitely with a stress injury to his right foot, the school announced this morning. A double-figure score, a critical piece, will be lost for the game. Back to you, my guys, Roy, Noah.
JC, the most versatile man in television. We look forward to tossing it your way. The upcoming halftime report. Noah Savage, Roy Philpott. Back at the America East Championship, UMassLowe trailed by 8 early, Noah. Now by just 1, 13 minutes in. And for Pat Duquette, 8th season. Certainly a lot at stake for his program today.
Yeah, and the defense has been great for both sides. But if you're Connor Withers, you got to figure out a way to get a 3 off. I mean, if I hit 9 threes in a game, the first time it touches my hand the next game, it's going up. And he might have to step back. But he's got to get involved in this game, and we got to see a little bit more from Obadiah Noel. But you've got to know where the heat's coming from. They're going to try to shut you down, so that just means get in the paint, try to create for yourself or others.
Coming up on Selection Sunday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, ESPN, and also the app. It's Bracketology with Reese Davis, Jay Billis, and company. They'll break down the brackets and have special guests. It's coming up tomorrow. SportsCenter starts it off at 5:15 as Reese and the guys reveal the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. Selection Sunday tomorrow. We're going to get that bad boy for the first time in 2 years, and we can't wait.
It's going to be fantastic. And you know, thinking about Michigan without Isaiah Livers, just to top back for a second, Roy. I don't know if you saw the game that Mike Smith had. 18 points, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers. The Columbia transfer, who I'm going to crown as the Ivy League's all-time greatest grad transfer. He is having one heck of a season for the Michigan Wolverines.
I didn't see it, but I did see Juwan Howard get after Mark Turgeon, head basketball coach at Maryland, and there were some heated words exchanged. Howard was ejected. He apologized later, but his post-game press conference, no loss between those two. I don't mind a little pettiness as March Madness arrives, right? I mean, we get a little bit of that this time of year.
Love the fiery response, and Coach Juwan Howard done a heck of a job this year. Right here, getting into the paint and able to finish, and that help's got to be a little bit sooner for UMassLowe. They've done a great job stepping up, but they were just dropped back, and it was a great conversion inside for DJ Mitchell, who is, he could be a starter. He's part of that four-headed monster at the guard position for Hartford.
Williams lost it out of bounds. Yeah, Mitchell's a former walk-on, leading three-point shooter for the Hartford Hawks this season. Just about all of his scoring comes from bonus land. Hawks lead it by 4 over the Riverhawks. You see the turnovers. Approaching 5.5 to go in the first.
Trying to get Noel on the block here.
Thomas outside to Daly. Tracked down by Allen Blunt. His brother Anthony also on the team. Now Hartford in transition.
See Tracy Carter, the thief inside. You have the ball. Look out for number 25. He's coming to get it.
Marks rejected. Max Brooks, second block. Boy, he stared him down after the fact, Noah.
Yeah, the two-handed rejection. What a rejection inside. He recovered it as well. That was the best part. But Hunter Marks, an excellent athlete, tries to elevate it. Look at that.
Nope.
Could have been a jump ball up top, but that's great interior defense for UMassLowe. Max Brooks, just a freshman.
Did you see him staring him down while he was on the floor there at the very end as we cut away from that?
Oh, that's a tech this year. I mean, the refs are calling techs on a little stare down. I love it.
I hope not.
And I love that they let it go, Roy.
Yeah.
I love that they let it go. Let them play.
I was going to say. High ball screen, Tracy Carter, quick trigger, no. Fresh 20. Austin Williams has been held in check. Spin cycle, can't get the bounce. Marks is there. He's got 7.
Just great activity. He had 6'9", runs to the front of the rim. He'll be in that dunker position along the baseline. And good things happen when you're big and active.
7-0 run now for Hartford, responding to the most recent run by the Riverhawks. Did you say dunker's position? Is that what you said?
Exactly. You just slide along the baseline, they dish it off, and you go up and dunk it if you're Hunter Marks rather. And with me, you try to lay it in and you fall out of bounds. That's what I used to do as a player. But if you're Hunter Marks, you grab that thing and dunk it two-handed. Unless you have Max Brooks along the baseline.
Noel, the bucket inside. Lead back down to 4. Both teams 6 of 22 from the floor. It's been all about the defense thus far, and a couple of bricks tossed up on both sides as a result.
Good transition D by Hartford to get back and stop that break.
Euro step by Noel, outside to Allen Blunt, no. And a held ball, the Hartford Hawks will get possession after this timeout.
Well, Hunter Marks, the exciting 6'9" Australian, active early for Hartford, relocate, find the basketball, slap it in with your left hand. You need to be ambidextrous inside, and he is from down under.
The energy's here. I need you to be ready.
Coming off of that bike, and we're gonna work that core.
Find that balance.
Look how great this is.
Let's get working. This is what it's about. Push through. Come on.
Nordic Track, the home of interactive personal training.
Crispin and Cuff. Coming up on the Audi halftime report, no Isaiah Livers for Michigan. What does that mean for their future here in March? And as for the Texas Longhorns seeking their first ever Big 12 tournament title, who stands in the way? Cade Cunningham and those Cowboys. As for this game, what are you seeing so far, Chris?
Well, first off, this game's flying. Second off, neither team has seemed to figure out how to score in this game. Both teams shooting 25%. Obi Noel needs to get it going. He can be really difficult to defend.
Championship game, we know there's some jitters. They haven't played in a week. You've got all this build-up, 11 a.m. tip, all that mixed in. We're having a little bit of struggle right now. What I do love is our guy Noah Savage, by the way. We've already got a Princeton Penn mention. Okay. We got a Columbia mention. Gratuitous Ivy League talk left and right at 11:30 in the morning. Irrelevant.
That's what he does.
How about Seth Towns? Let's get him in. Jordan Bruner.
Guys, thank you so much. JC, Dallin, and Crispin getting it done. And Noah, it's interesting right now, Hartford shooting 25%, and yet they lead it by 4. Pretty fortunate.
Yeah, and you got to get to the free throw line if you're Obi Noel. And if you're Dallin Cuff, you got to shout yourself out. He went to Columbia, so did Mike Smith. Where's the love for the Ivy League? And you got Seth Towns, as you mentioned, on Ohio State. There's a lot of Ivy League guys running around. And my favorite team in America, Alabama, with Jordan Bruner, the big man, transferred from Yale. But if you're Obi Noel, you lead the conference in free throw attempts. Get into the paint, throw a pump fake, get something going for your team. You've got to be a little bit more aggressive if you're Obi Noel.
He's only got 2 points so far, leading scorer in the America East, 6th leading scorer in the country. We'll see if he can maybe catch fire at the end. Tracy Carter with the mid-range. It's back to a three-point affair.
And you see the passing, actually, of Tracy Carter show up on that play because everybody stayed home. They were a little bit afraid of his dishing, and he's just wide open from about 10 feet.
So after the three by Allen Blunt, under 3 to go. Defensive-oriented first half. Mentioned it earlier, the first of 4 championship games just on ESPN2 today. We also have the 2 AAC semis after the MEAC championship when this game is finished. Little brunch, little basketball early on your Saturday. Second basket for Noel.
And that's what he does. I mean, he's really physical. And that shows up on his drives, and it shows up late on his drives where he can power through off two like that or turn his back, throw it into a post move. For the rest of the half, Obi Noel needs to just power his body into the lane, whether it's off a post or a drive.
Austin Williams probing. He was fouled inside, and free throws coming up for the Hawks. Max Brooks picks up the infraction. So that's his first. And to the stripe goes Austin Williams, 65% this season. Leading scorer for the Hartford Hawks.
He's been on such a tear, Roy. Yeah. Such a tear. I mean, from downtown, 7 for 11 in the America East tournament. Feeling it.
Champ Week rolling right along. 3 more title games, including the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. Texas seeking its first tournament title there. That's at 6. Georgia Tech and Florida State, 8:30 tonight. The New York Life ACC title game. Then how about the Beavers of Oregon State, the 5 seed. Wayne Tinkle getting it done out west against Colorado. 5 versus 3 late tonight, 10:30 over on ESPN. They were down 16 to UCLA 2 days ago, early in the first half. Came back to win that one. Then won again last night. And then now a chance to claim a Pac-12 championship. We've got all these teams, Noah, on the bubble, watching to see if other bubble teams are able to eke out victories. In and out for Carter. The rebound claimed by Connor Withers.
Yeah, and Georgetown with that big victory over Villanova may have burst a couple bubbles around the country. But in those other games, how about Texas, Vander Jones, Kai Jones, Matt Coleman? They have a ton of athleticism, NBA talent. And then on the other side, Kate Cunningham, the #1 pick in the NBA draft coming up. You know, a couple teams that can really make a Final Four run and win it all. And I love Florida State, Scotty Barnes, the 6'9" point forward inside. And, you know, they're fantastic.
Foul going to be called on Alan Blunt. Looked as if the dribbler maybe just tripped over his own 2 feet. Kate Cunningham, I don't know if we're going to be able to get enough of him in that championship game and then in the actual tournament itself. As you see, Carter just slipped in the foul called against Blunt.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You're on the perimeter, you're guarding a driver. He thought he did a good job of protecting his feet, and just an unfortunate whistle. But you're right about Kate Cunningham. He joins some pretty select company in terms of winning Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year in the Big 12. Kevin Durant, Beasley, and Marcus Smart are the only other 3 guys to do that.
107 remaining. Both teams getting into it. Pat Duquette trying to inspire his guys. Now you have to deliver in March when the bacon is on the table. He's going to try to do that today as UMassLowe tries to advance to the tournament for the first time. Pat's brother, Jim, SiriusXM radio host, on their show yesterday talking about this game. Power Alley is the name of it. They talk baseball. We talk hoops. Jim said to make sure I mentioned that Pat had a quality mullet back in the day, so just wanted to squeeze that in real quick. I'm sure Pat appreciates that. No, I could see you doing that. Maybe circa 2002, 2003. Maybe didn't know much better back then.
2009. I mean, you're close, but I had the flow going. I had the European flow. Short on the sides, long in the back. Ugly.
Williams at the stripe. 3 points, 5 boards so far. The 1-1 is Hartford now in the bonus the rest of the way.
They've just been
lead
chipping
back to
away.
4.
He's just finding a way, you know, chipping away, getting to the free throw line. And Hunter Marks struggling from downtown right now, but love how aggressive he's being. And then these grinded out games, throw the percentages out the window. Just do what you do. I mean, the first team to get to 50 might win this one.
You're thinking 50. I'm thinking like 42.
This is, this is the type of score I was used to as a player. Down to the 40s, down to the 50s.
And it's got a vibe to it that reminds you of the pre-shot clock era, shall we say. Kickball to stay on this end.
Yeah, Connor Withers catches it at the mid-post, and you wouldn't mind him going to work right there, trying to get into the paint, using the shot fake. You got to respect his shot fake because he's such a great shooter. And you just got to
Withers.
You got to force it sometimes as a player. Get yourself going.
He's scoreless after that 9 made threes game in his last time out in the semis. There's a turnover. Hartford's going to get it back, leading by 5, and a chance to play for the final shot of the half.
And right here, they're probably going to play right through Tracy Carter. Let him be the playmaker and try to set up Hunter Marks.
Halftime report coming up. 15 seconds from now, JC and the guys will get you caught up on a very busy day and weekend of college basketball. On Selection Sunday Eve, Carter off the mark, the rebound, Stoffel can't finish. Riverhawks with time. Withers, the spin. Thomas. 20 minutes in the books in the America East Championship, and Hartford leads it by 5.
Yeah, pretty good look coming out of the break. They had 5 seconds on the clock, pushed ahead, and got a great shooter in Khalil Thomas, an open look, who has been blazing hot throughout this tournament. I mean, it was ugly both ways. Both teams shooting in the 20s and a combined 2 for 25 from downtown, Roy. So the jitters are out. It's an 11 a.m. start. All right, you made it to halftime. Let's reset if you're a player and just play some ball.
That is a factor, right? Like sometimes you start a game too early at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a lot happening that early morning. You're trying to wake up the body, and we'll see maybe if they have woken up in the second half.
You got to adjust to the game as well. I thought UMassLowe's defense was really good at collapsing. If you're Hartford, great push through right there. You got to push through the drive, spray it out for threes.
25-18, Hartford out in front. Hawks trying to go to their first ever NCAA tournament. UMassLowe trying to do the same thing. Neither team has been there. That'll change for one of these programs after this afternoon.
Yeah, we heard Coach Gallagher before the game. The way to get there is just do what you've done all season long. And if you're UMassLowe, it's a welcome sight to see Connor Withers get a 3-up.
Withers thought about it. Withers attacking, too strong. The putback is there. Salif Boujeh.
And it all started with Obadiah Noel. Went down into the paint, turned baseline, and got so much attention from Hartford that everybody was attacking a closeout, and that's how you lead offensive rebounds.
Mitchell off the bounce, going to feed the post. Stoffel goes to work, in and out. Boujeh the rebound. Chance now for UMassLowe.
Miroslav Stoffel, who played at the Get Better Academy in the Czech Republic. Coach Gallagher told us that he had a carefrontation with Stoffel to let him know you're not a stretch 5. Get in the paint and score within 8 feet.
I think you and I had one of those like earlier this year, and all ended well, right? I mean, we're still on good terms though.
I mean, you're a yeller, Roy, but we hugged it out at the end, you know? It was intense.
Hawks with a 5-point lead and possession. Hartford actually punched his ticket to this championship game last year before the season was shut down, and that has not gone lost on this program. Noel off the bounce, off glass, and a chance for 3. Big bucket for number 11 in blue, leading scorer in the America East, and he's finally starting to come to life a little bit.
It's a little secondary break. He read the defense. There was only one helper to his right. Showed the ball left, cross right, and one inside. And that's what makes him so tough. I mean, he compares favorably to, I think, like a Joe Johnson, because he's got the wide shoulders. He can score from all 3 levels. And once he gets you a quarter on your hip, on his hip, you're done. You can't get back in front of him because he's too strong.
Noel has 6. That was the first free throw of the game for UMassLowe. Carter the other direction with a full head of steam comes up short. Now chance to tie or take the lead for the Riverhawks.
Salif Boujay with the inside rejection went straight vertical and did a great job to wall up.
Withers, count it! UMassLowe back in front, his first 3 ball, his first points. That's a great sign for number 5 and for UMassLowe.
It's just so pure. I mean, there is nothing you would change about his stroke. So compact. And it's really just about finding him shots within the offense if you're UMassLowe.
Tracy Carter responds on the other end. Hartford leads at 27-26. Daly inside. And no basket. Foul came before the shot. Connor Withers trying to get on track. This is a good way to do it.
He's fantastic. Sophomore can really shoot it from deep, get those puppies set. And he's fiery. You know, talking to Coach Duquette, he said he loves his intensity, he loves his competitiveness. He can really fill it up.
Air ball from downtown. It'll go back to Hartford. So the Hawks lead it 27-26, just underway in our second half. Here at the America East Championship game. We've got 4 title affairs on ESPN2 today. Even more than that over on ESPN. So a great time of year. Champ Week underway. Selection Sunday tomorrow. All these tournaments concluding for the first time in 2 years. And Austin Williams inside, a chance for 3 for the Hartford Hawks.
Yeah, Williams couldn't hit a field goal in the first half, but he did a good job getting to the free throw line. Great change of direction. You get the big on you, Alan Blunt, recognize the mismatch, and get into the paint for the N1.
So Blunt picks up the personal. Williams at the line. He's now in double figures with 10. Still a 1-possession game.
Now expect a steady diet of Obi Noel the rest of the half. If you're Hartford defending, it's all going to come through number 11 on blue.
Elbow J on cue, silky smooth, give him 9. Leading scorer in the conference. He's been on fire as of late when it matters most.
Number 22 in the country in terms of getting to the free throw line. And he plays so under control. That was a pro move. He came to a stop, recognized where the defense was sagging off, and he pulled up from 15.
Now you mentioned the free throw attempts for Noel. Daly, look at what he found there. Comes up short on the chippy as Marks was hit hard, and the foul will be called against Bryce Daly. We got a 1-point game, 5 minutes in the second half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right.
Thank you for joining us. Hold that strokes per minute through the water and go.
Taking your resistance up.
You've got your iFit trainers with you. Well done, guys.
Nordic Track, the home of interactive personal training.
Not a lot of points, but a lot of drama. 1-point lead for Hartford back at the America East Championship. And UMassLowe, what a couple of comebacks they have experienced in these America East playoffs, trailing by 16 on 2 occasions, including their most recent upset of number 1 seed UMBC, 79-77. A 16-point deficit in the second half in BD for the Riverhawks. What a time to be alive, and a great time of year as Champ Week rolls right along. Noah Savage.
Yeah, and they went on a 19-8 run down the stretch to cut it within 3 against UMBC. And just to speak to the kind of COVID time, Coach Duquette had to talk to his team and say, we got to take you guys right off campus and put you in a hotel so that we can continue this run. And he's disappointed that his guys couldn't hang out on campus, celebrate, because this has been a huge deal to UMassLowe within the campus and within the community.
Lead back to 3 after the bucket by Stoffel. Riverhawks back to work. Yeah, we talked with John Gallagher about COVID protocols, and he said, you know what? If we have somebody test positive, we're still playing. And we kind of looked at each other over Zoom, and he said that's because we've implemented the pod system. So guys aren't around each other a lot as we've made this run. And tell you what, that makes a lot of sense when you've seen other programs, Duke, Virginia, Kansas, have to bow out because of a positive test. And don't look now, we're tied at 31.
You got to just hope that pod is good. If it's 3 or 4 guys, you get a guy who talks too much or, doesn't shower often enough, that's got to be brutal. But, now you're talking about a team of 12 or 15 guys, but you're really hanging out with 2 or 3. And down the stretch, it's really about getting good shots for your good players and reading the defense, making great decisions.
That's the quality analysis we pay a lot of money to hear. Good shots from good players. How about that good shot by Stoppel?
You have to get them good shots if you're the other guys. If you're Daly, you got to figure out a way to get Obi Noel shots. You got to get Connor Withers shots.
Obadiah Noel with just 9 points. He averages almost 22. Boucher was fouled on the reverse in a 2-point contest.
Miro Stoffel showing why he's got to dominate inside 8 feet, according to his coach. Great strength. The catch was the best part. I mean, he caught it within traffic, took his time, and got to that jump hook inside. He's really jacked and strong. And when you combine that with soft hands, that's a valuable addition to your team from the big man spot.
Don't forget about the SEC, the Southeastern Conference. The top 4 seeds have all advanced. Noah Savage loves him. Some Alabama. I do as well. Nate Oates, John Petty, and just a whole host of characters that can shoot the 3 and get to the rim. Arkansas, meanwhile, may be the hottest team in the country nobody's talking about. Back inside the top 10, Eric Musselman has been fantastic. Winner of those 2 games match up tomorrow. Arkansas right now a 3 seed, according to our own Joe Lenardi, ESPN bracketologist. And when you know it, the Razorbacks have a tie to this game because John Gallagher, really great friends with Arkansas assistant coach David Patrick. And in fact, that's been one of the key tie-ins to get Hartford down to the land of Oz, Australia, on those 25 recruiting trips, which has produced 11 straight years. Quality players from down under coming here to West Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, when you're at a mid or low major school, you've got to find creative ways to recruit. And you can go overseas to do it. You can get ties to the New England prep schools in this area. Northfield Mount Herman sends a ton of guys to the D1 level. And they've carved out that niche, and it's been great for them. I mean, he really thinks Hunter Marks is a high major player. He just happens to be at Hartford.
Yeah, Marks just starting to scratch the surface. We've got a 3-point game, 7.5 minutes into our second half. Connor Withers hit 9 threes his last time out, held in check so far. So keep an eye on number 5 who has it now.
And he can step back. He doesn't need to hug the 3-point line. Step back to NBA range to create some more space.
Deep 3. Anthony Blunt, no. Rejected.
Great closeout by Hunter Marks.
Tracy Carter elbow Jay, and it's all net.
He's been around the block. He's seen it all. And he's playing with a lot of poise in the championship.
And an offensive foul gives it back to the Hartford Hawks. Already leading by 5. John Gallagher in position. More drama yet to unfold.
Hang on, kid. Together, we're stronger that way.
Get the Disney Bundle today.
It's a simple but meaningful gesture. put a towel over your shoulder during the game. My father did it to honor my grandparents. Now coaches are doing it to honor him. Sometimes the simplest things have the most meaning.
Well, we've lost so many great coaches going back to the last year. Roy Philpott, Noah Savage. You think about the great John Chaney, John Thompson, who had such a large presence on the landscape of change going back to the 1980s. And Noah, you actually have a relationship with the Thompson family, right?
Yeah, I mean, John Thompson III recruited me out of high school. I committed to him at Princeton, and then in the dead of the night, he went down to Georgetown, and he called me up and said, you know, Princeton's part of me, but so is Georgetown. And there was a beat where I was like, ooh, am I getting a little offer to – no offer to Georgetown. You go to Princeton, I'll go to Georgetown. But he had a big impact on me in the high school level during the recruiting process. And a lot of those lessons that his father taught him really impacted that Princeton program moving forward. And I'll tell you a quick story. When he offered me to go to Princeton, it was, we want you to come here, and then it was 20 minutes of what I needed to improve on. So that kind of blunt, matter-of-fact coaching, you know, permeated the Thompson family and really had a huge impact on his coaching style.
No doubt about it. After the three by Khalil Thomas, back to a one-possession game, and pressure mounting on both sides here. Neither one of these teams have ever been to the NCAA tournament, seeking their first America East championship. So much on the line as we're just getting started on the Saturday before Selection Sunday. Champ Week really rolling right along at a phenomenal level. Withers comes up short. That would have given UMassLowe the advantage. Instead, Hartford quickly back the other direction. Williams attacking, and he was fouled.
But Roy, I love that look for Connor Withers. They cleared out an entire side. They ran a naked pick and pop. And he had no help. So when he popped, he could have that whole side to operate on. He got a great look. And look right here. There's no help over there. So he rolls out, and Tracy Carter's too late getting out to him. That's a great look. And they've got to keep going to plays like that to get him shots and manufacture him looks. Well, you know, talking to Coach Duquette about Connor Withers, that's one thing that you will notice. His reactions to the officiating is always funny. Like he reacts, he talks to them. He's got a little bit of that kind of feisty personality where he's thinking the game. I mean, he has a great basketball IQ, and he's working the officials as well.
Williams now with 12 points, lead back to 4. You mentioned going back to the well a couple of more times for the guy with the ball, Connor Withers. It's 1 of 9 from the floor. At what point do you maybe consider something different?
I mean, never. You know, this is a championship. You go to number 11, and then if it's not him, it's number 5.
Look at you. Look at you right there.
Great high-low. Great high-low. You have the two best players, you know, with the ball most of the time. And you love the Obi Noel pick and roll. Connor Withers sets it, and then he can either roll or pop.
He's got 8 boards, so he's doing something right on the glass at least. Marks the quick trigger from the corner. Here comes UMassLowe. Transition. Noel wanted the foul and instead turns it over.
Connor Withers showing his versatility. You want to high side him, throw it to the top of the key, and execute the perfect high-low situation. He kept Austin Williams on his back. And then a little bit of extra. What are you doing after the game? You want to hang out? What are you doing? Text me. Hit me on the text.
Tracy Carter, Obi Noel. And double text was the call.
You know, you're getting so many more texts. You're getting so many more texts, Roy, just because there's an empty gym. You know, you see it all over America. And that one's face-to-face. That's an obvious one. But some of the normal trash talking that goes on during a college basketball game is now being picked up by the officials.
Austin Williams answers the trash talk with a bucket from downtown, 42-37, as Hartford now extends its lead, nearly a turnover.
That was really close to a backcourt.
Anthony Blunt inside, high off the glass with the bounce. Will they count the basket?
Right here, little fake a back screen. Austin Williams comes off. Nobody shows. You cannot give him that type of look. Came in shooting over 60% from downtown in this tournament.
Williams now with 15. Basket did not count. Fouls before the shot. Noah Savage, Roy Philpott, halfway through our second half here at the America East Championship. Noel inside, and again, foul comes before the shot, and Obi Noel can't believe it.
Now that's close. Now watch when he goes to the crossover move. He gets bumped, and he takes another step. So that's a good call. It's on the ground, but he was almost into that shooting motion because he shoots that layup from so low, from below his waist.
UMassLowe now in the bonus, so the 1-and-1 coming. Foul was called against Hunter Marks. Noel with 9 points and 8 boards, give him 10, so now in double figures. Almost halfway home to his scoring average this season.
They recognize a little bit of a mismatch with Hunter Marks, the big on him. And what Obi Noel does such a good job of is he sees the second line defense before he drives. He drives to where the hole is in the defense, so there's an open area to go to.
No fans allowed inside Rich Family Pavilion today, the home court of the Hartford Hawks. Carter created the separation, in and out, poked out and tracked down by Williams. Marks inside. Boy, Brooks has gotten the best of him a couple of times today. This time he's called for the foul, and free throws coming for Hunter Marks.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. There's a poke out that kept the possession alive, but look at the block inside. Max Brooks, he had one in the first half, and I thought he went completely vertical right there, right? I mean, he's straight up,
clean.
hand straight up. Yeah. That's like a volleyball play. It's like meet me at the net, go straight up, and then if you're going to adjust and make a layup over me, that's okay, but that's pretty much textbook what you're supposed to do if you're Max Brooks. Pretty impressive from the freshman.
Anthony Blunt checks out. Another free throw coming for Marks, making his 56th career start. And more important than this one, lead extends to 5, under 9 to play. Back on the floor is DJ Mitchell. As PJ Henry gets a breather.
All right, here comes the quote-unquote junk defense. They play a little 1-3-1. Hartford said they were going to use this about 8 to 10 possessions tonight. And look, it just makes UMassLowe put the brakes on a little bit.
Stripped and out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock. It was Austin Williams.
Right here, they go 1-3-1. It was a good pass inside. And then an excellent strip underneath by Austin Williams.
Well, John Gallagher told us, hey, we may use that in a late half situation, a late in-game situation with the 1-3-1. And he loves to kind of mix things up to throw the opposition off somewhat. So file that little nugget away, and we'll see what happens. Noel's been aggressive. We'll stay on this end. I think that's the right call. Boy, both sides really getting after this veteran officiating crew.
It's been physical, and you know, that defense that Hartford goes to, they'll go to a 1-3-1 and then they go to a flat 1-3-1 that's really disguised and you're not sure what it is.
Off the lob, Brooks corrals it. And on the desperation shot, Stoppel comes down with a rebound. So Hartford playing some outstanding defense and mixing things up. Carter to bounce. Miroslav Stoppel set to shoot 2.
Look at the great pick and roll action right there. Pump fake and then drop it down low to Stoffel, who is rolling so strong to the hoop. Catch and go up and finish. And Connor Withers got to be careful not to get a tech there. Huge reaction.
Lead back to 5. Stoffel, a 53% free throw shooter. He'll get one more. Champ Week rolling right along with 3 more title games. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. That's at 6 Eastern. Texas seeking its first tournament title. Georgia Tech, Florida State, the New York Life ACC Championship. That's at 8:30 tonight over on ESPN, also the app. Beavers and Buffs, 10:30 tonight for the Pac-12 Championship presented by New York. All those games on ESPN, all with massive implications for tournament seeding and potentially a couple of bubble teams as well. So the lead at 7, and now a danger zone for the Riverhawks, Noah.
And they got to go right there to number 11, Obi Noel. I think Connor Withers just airballed that shot. I don't think it got tipped. That's a great look for a great shooter.
John Gallagher pacing back and forth. His 11th season. Deep 3 off the mark by Williams. Rebound finally controlled by UMassLowe. Here comes Thomas. And a foul over the back against Connor Withers. Hartford basketball when we come back. The lead is 7 for the Hawks. The drama is real in West Hartford, Connecticut. Who wants to go dancing? We're about to find out.
Ready? Let's go.
What a beautiful sight.
Taking your speed up. Let's go. Come on.
We're going to take it to a jab cross. Great work, guys.
Take the lead here.
Nordic Track, the home of interactive personal training.
Hartford Hawks making their second America East Championship game appearance. You see the road to get to the title game today, including the upset at number 2 Vermont last weekend, 71-65. But wouldn't you know it, 366 days ago, Hartford was set to play in this championship game before everything came to a screeching halt. In fact, Noah, they were ready to board the bus for Burlington to face Vermont in the championship contest. Didn't happen. Those two programs actually met just a couple of days ago as Hartford claimed the semifinal victory. But you can only imagine what that feels like. You're on the verge of playing. You could have done what you're doing today 366 days ago, and it never happened.
Yeah, terrible. And obviously that week was so strange for all of college basketball as teams were getting pulled off the court in the ACC tournament. The Big East, they got to halftime of the game. They pulled guys off, and you know, I was scheduled to do that game last year. It was canceled for me too, and it was incredibly disappointing. And now they're just happy to be playing basketball, and we've got a great championship game here that the scoring hasn't been that high, Roy, but physical. I mean, you see guys bleeding on both sides. The defense has been great.
Largest lead for Hartford. The Hawks now lead it by 9. Important possession. Noel off the mark. John Gallagher said it best, just going back to last year. He said, you know, the game is canceled. He told his guys, life is not fair. Dreams were shattered that day. No one died. No one was sick. But when you have someone's dreams get tossed away, you've waited your whole career for a moment like that. He reflected on a quote that he was told by one of his former coaches. He said, when you play, you make memories. Some can be bad, some can be good. Last year, we didn't even get a chance to make a memory. When you think about it from that perspective, emotional indeed last year and today as well.
No doubt, and they're definitely taking advantage of this opportunity. And Tracy Carter has been great off pick and rolls in the center of the court. His decision-making has been superb.
Pass to Marks to rouse it up and in. Largest lead for the Hawks, 52-39.
He's the best defender that Coach Gallagher has ever coached. Tracy Carter has been incredible in transition, finding Hunter Marks, and he knows what to do with it down low.
Welcome to the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus come to life on all your screens. Transforming your world with 3 incredible streaming services and seemingly limitless possibilities. Bold Hulu originals, Disney hits, and must-see sports. Delivering something for everyone. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Get the Disney Bundle today.
Hunter Marks, 6'9", only 190 pounds, the junior from down under, and he's finding unique ways to produce today. Noah Savage, 11 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks, and a steal.
Yeah, and at 6'9", he's so versatile. He's got that great activity level, the soft hands, shows the patience down low here. And he's just scratching the surface of his capabilities. I mean, he already was wiry, strong, and bouncy and active, but the shooting's getting better, the driving's getting better, and you look at that play against Vermont where he went right down the chute and banged it on their defense. And sometimes a play like that as a player, you can go, wait a second, I might be one of the best players in this league. And that's how Coach Gallagher views him, as a star in this league.
Wide open three, Anthony Blunt, back iron. Well, I'm kind of disappointed in you in that conversation, that commentary, and here's why. You talked about his improving shot, his improving drive. I literally thought you were going to say his improving facial hair, because it's just kind of scratching the surface there as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And you look at the hairstyle he's got going on, it was a little bit more mullet-like early in the season, so I'm disappointed he trimmed the back. I mean, he was really fully 80s down early in the season.
Foul call. This one will go against Tracy Carter. Yeah, the full-on mullet is always a great topic of conversation this time of year. So he's got a little work to do back there. But I'm sure if they advance to the tournament, maybe another week or two, it'll be where it needs to be, perhaps.
Yeah, there's a long lineage of great mullets in basketball, whether it's Larry Bird and going back to guys who can really get it done in terms of the haircut department. And he has been great. And not in his best shooting performance, but he's been great in finding ways to score around the basket and being available to his guards when they drive.
Costly miss, the front end of the 1-and-1 by Connor Withers. By the way, 4 fouls now on Tracy Carter. Lead at 13 for Hartford. This is their largest advantage here at the America East Championship.
It's going to be up to DJ Henry to run that point with Tracy Carter out.
He stepped out. I was going to say March certainly needs more mullets. Maybe if we put out the word, it'll happen.
And obviously Adam Morrison, the king of either great or terrible hair and facial hair in March Madness.
Noel. Withers was fouled. So another 1-and-1 coming for Connor Withers, who has not had the kind of start today that he hoped for in this championship tilt.
You can do a little bit more of that too. They respect his shot, show the ball, and defenders are just going to go flying with his shooting capability.
Big free throw there as we check out the American bracket. The upcoming semifinal matchups right here on ESPN2 later today after the MEAC title game. Cincy and Wichita State, well, the Shockers survived. And Houston and Memphis. I think at least 2 teams from the AAC are going to make it to the dance. The question is which 2, and Shockers have done such a remarkable job after the coaching change. Championship game tomorrow, 3:15 Eastern, over on ESPN, also on the app. So the lead back to 11. UMassLowe, obviously, Noah, looking for a couple of stops here.
And they've got to stop number 25 with the basketball. He's been great at getting right to the free throw line and creating for his bigs.
Stoppel inside, a nifty move, can't finish. The rebound to Allen Blunt.
And they wanted to foul him down low. Stoppel only shoots 55% from the free throw line. They didn't want to give him that layup. They were trying to give a foul, and he's too strong. I mean, they didn't call that foul.
Against the zone, Noel taps it out. Allen Blunt back iron. And a foul be called against UMassLowe as Marks tried to claim the board.
And a great team box out by Hartford. And then Hunter Marks did a great job to go up with 2 hands through that contact.
Well, Vermont, one of the better, more consistent programs in the America East, going back a decade now. 4 championships for the Catamounts. UMassLowe, Hartford, you see at the very bottom, without that title. That's going to change today. And right now, Hartford appears to be in control, but still plenty of basketball left to be played.
Yeah, Vermont with another great year. Ryan Davis won Player of the Year over Obi Noel, which was, some people obviously on the UMassLowe side thought that he should have won it. And then UMBC with another strong year, and Darnell Rogers, the 5'2 phenom, immediately in the transfer portal. He's out of there.
Love how you give the shout outs to some of the best programs in this conference. Certainly they appreciate it for their hard work completed this year. Foul inside. This one will go against the Riverhawks again, and Anthony Blunt can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a tough call inside, but you look at this year for the America East, Roy, and there were very few teams that swept a back-to-back against the same opponent. So it was a couple balls bounced a different way, and the seedings could have been completely different. I mean, there were so many good teams, whether it's New Hampshire, Vermont, UMBC, and Stony Brook as well was excellent this year, but just a strange year when you think about playing the exact same opponent within 24 hours.
Hunter Marks makes the first. Hartford extending its lead. If you think about it, the Hartford Hawks head coach John Gallagher, they're doing it all this season. Really without their best player, Moses Flowers, had hip surgery going back to early in the season. You add him to this roster, and all of a sudden they become a much more difficult out. But Flowers hopefully returns next year along with the majority of the roster. And for both of these teams, they hope that they become mainstays in this title game in the future. And they've certainly got the opportunity to do that.
Look at the animation. I mean, he's got the lead. Somebody tell him he's up. He's not taking anything for granted. It's a championship. He's coaching every second.
How about it? Tracy Carter with the mid-range, 57-41. And the Hawks can cinch it now.
He's had such a good run, though, over 2017, 2018. Had the two most successful years in history of the program in D1, and one right there.
Noel with a chance for the 4-point play, but Coach John Gallagher, season number 11, his team on the verge. They lead it by 13.
The energy's here. I need you to be ready.
Coming off of that bike, and we're going to work that core.
Find that balance. Look how great this is.
Let's get working. This is what it's about.
Push through. Come on.
Nordic Track, the home of interactive personal training.
Studio update. The MEAC tournament final getting set. Morgan State, Norfolk State. Joe Bryant Jr. looking to get his squad to their second NCAA tournament appearance.
Yeah, and on the other side for Morgan State, Torian Ware, 29 points, 15 rebounds in their win over Coppin State, the top seed in that conference. Going to be an interesting one.
Bama, Tennessee, SEC semis. Herb Jones, the heart and soul for Bama down.
SEC player of the year, defensive player that does it all for them, stuffs the stat sheets. We know they can score, but this team defends at a high level, second in the nation defensive efficiency, with a Tennessee team that doesn't score the ball very well. Trouble.
Excited for that one. Excited to hear Roy finish this one up, and I'm excited for Noah and some stand-up post-COVID, of course.
Oh, yes, indeed. The stand-up comic Noah Savage, Roy Philpott back with you. About 3.5 to go. Noah, the lead is 13. Hartford in good position here. What are you looking for down the stretch?
We got to take care of the ball, and you've got to just keep stopping Obi Noel and limiting him. And he just hit an and 1-3. That's bad news if you're Hartford. You have to play this out. UMassLowe knows what they're doing with the comeback. I mean, that UMBC game, it did not look like they were going to win that game until about 7 minutes left. Take care of the ball, keep getting good shots, and play this all the way to the finish, Roy.
Yeah, a couple of 16-point comebacks for the Riverhawks this season. Both of those occurring in the America East playoffs. So we will see if they have an opportunity. Now they need some stops, deficit at 12.
Right, they're bringing the pressure. Look at the pressure from UMassLowe, trying to create steals. And then they know who the bad free throw shooters are on Hartford. So if somebody catches it like Stoffel, they might just foul him and send him to the line early, even with 3 minutes left to go.
They try to extend it out. 3 to play. West Hartford, Connecticut. Open look for Carter. Instead, here's DJ Mitchell, the floater. 59-45.
Great pull-up to not charge on the baseline.
This game was 37-35 with 11:38 to go, and since then a 22-9 run for Hartford. And the Hawks now with possession, 2.5 to play.
Miroslav Stoffel tried to ignite the break from the center position and almost lost that one. Got to be smart. Find your guards when you get a turnover or a rebound. If you're a big.
Hawks have never been to the NCAA tournament. 2:13 away from that. Mid-range short. Tracked down by Withers. Here come the Riverhawks. Withers attacking, a clear path, and the dunk.
Wow, out of nowhere. The throwdown. Nobody picked up the ball.
Withers a point away from a double-double. The three-point shot has not been there, and that has been a factor. Really came up with a steal there. And a foul call. Williams said that was his bad in that sequence. Well, we've got a lot of tickets set to be punched, including here in the America East Championship. And later today, we are all over the place. You heard the guys talk about it in studio. The MEAC Championship down at Beautiful Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. As soon as we're done here, Rick Pitino and the Iona Gales coming up at 4 over on ESPNU. What a great story that would be, no?
Yeah, the improvement for Iona has been sensational, and it would not surprise me if they win that game and they take a deep run in the tournament. Isaiah Ross went from averaging around 10 a game to up over 20, shooting in the mid-40s for 3. They've got a big guy named Nelly Jr. Joseph, who is sensational as well. Rick Pitino, obviously, watch out for him.
60-47. Noel launching, got a clean look, can't finish. Hawks with possession. And a breakaway. Williams, the emphatic slam, 62-47, 90 seconds to go, and a turnover. And Hartford in control of this one.
Costly turnover by UMassLowe. Can't afford that at this time, but Hartford switched up their D again. They went to that flat zone. And for the second time in a row, Obi Noel got a great look. And here's the jam. Austin Williams can almost taste it. They're getting so close to this championship for the redshirt senior. 122 away from a berth into the NCAA tournament.
John Gallagher talked to us this week. He said this has been the best 4 years in the history of our program, going back to the days of the great Vin Baker. Last year we finally felt comfortable. Championship game did not happen as a result of COVID. And they're knocking on that front door, about ready to slam it down to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. Noel is short, and now it's just a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I don't even think that UMassLowe is going to foul, because they could have fouled Stoffel right there. They're just going to play this out.
Coach Gal talks about the family atmosphere at Hartford. Welcome to the neighborhood. When you need something, you don't look in the yellow pages. You don't go surfing the internet on Google. You lean on your neighbors. You lean on your family, and that's exactly the kind of program that he has constructed. Now in his 11th season, you can see it in his team today. And we've seen it as they have persevered all season long amidst COVID protocols. And now it's time to go dancing, Noah Savage.
Yeah, what a turnaround from not getting this opportunity a year ago to now dreams coming true for the America East champions.
Shot clock winding down. Rather fitting. I thought Gallagher was going to launch it right there. That would have been fitting, right?
It was going to go in. It's his day. That was a swish. Let it fly, coach. Come on.
Oh, how about it?
Right here, who's open? Throw it to coach. NBA range, no problem. Pump. And get it to the ref.
Just like Steph Curry, get warmed up for the Dubs out of Golden State. And how about the show of emotion? Austin Williams, leading scorer, third team all-conference, and you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, what a run by Austin Williams. I mean, he just got so much better down the